Back to school is such a tough time, and the number one emotion parents and teachers share during back to school, you might not be surprised by this, how one family went above and beyond in their adoption journey. This is a common sleep myth. It's wrecking your rest. It might change what you do on the weekends when it comes to sleep. And if your kids have already had their first day of school, you pick them up, they come to the bus stop, and what do you say? How was it? I think this kid probably speaks for all kids of how they really feel about it. That's coming up on The Good News Show with Andy, where I'm all about putting a smile on your face and hope in your heart.
The Good News Show with Andy.
The number of the day is...
The number one emotion parents and teachers share during back to school is feeling overwhelmed. And if that's you right now, my hand's up on this one too. I read this, I want to share it with you, that emotions are neither good or bad. They're merely sources of information. So whatever you're feeling, don't be ashamed of it. Accept it, give it to God, and know that you can always come here for songs that will help you get through it. Talking about back to school and emotions, and okay, I need to hear what the teachers are feeling right now.
I just had to call and say, to your crazy second grade teacher, even on the toughest days, it's just amazing. So here I go. Woo!
Well, I love that you have that enthusiasm about back to school, because then your students will model that too. Okay, just found out that parents and teachers agree the number one emotion during back to school is being overwhelmed. But it's also good to get back to routines too. And Coach Wendy, who loves to help you in mind, body, and spirit, has more on that.
The scheduled and disciplined routine is one of the best ways to reach a goal. And you may think that routines take away the excitement and the spontaneity in life, but it couldn't be further from the truth. Having a routine gives you a better chance at reaching your goals, which will give you more self-esteem and zeal for life. Trust me, motivation alone will not get you to your goals. You must have a plan and a schedule. Studies prove that it can take anywhere from 2 to even 8 months for a routine to become a habit, depending on its stickiness factor and whether or not you really have a propelling reason for creating that habit. So, if you're keeping to a schedule for a week and it still seems difficult, hang in there. Keep at it, because it will become easier week by week. Whether you're getting up earlier to work out, read devotions, or even take your dog for a walk, a rigid schedule will make your life go more smoothly, but not just for you, for everyone in the family.
I hope this story makes you smile today.
It's a big decision to choose to adopt. And so Lisa and Gary were a little hesitant when they got a call from the local foster care group asking if they'd be willing to adopt. So they nervously said yes. And then the big day came. They were in the courtroom and they were asked again, would you like to adopt Emerson and Autumn and Jackson and Journey and Jace and Piper and Sawyer? They were all siblings who had been broken up a year ago when they went into the foster care system. And they were told, you may never be together again, because most families, pretty much no families, will adopt 7 kids at once. But now they'll be together for the rest of their lives. And Lisa and Gary admit adding 7 people to our family in a heartbeat, it's chaos. But Lisa says it's a fun type of chaos because we just love them. Maybe you're starting to do some deep cleaning of closets and the attic and everything in the garage, and you're keeping this stuff and you're thinking, is it worth anything? Maybe some stuff that you thought, oh, it's going to be worth something someday. You may just want to check online before you toss it. Things like old Wheaties boxes, old comic books. Yeah, they're worth more than you might think. Even some Beanie Babies. And but it's a very small amount. Most Beanie Babies aren't really worth much, but if you collected a whole bunch of them in the 90s, you may just want to Google before you just take them all to Goodwill. Just so you know, my prayer and belief for you is that God will open doors, break chains, and move mountains in your life. And when it happens, be sure to let me know.
We closed our house today.
Woohoo! That is so cool. So what are you doing now?
Well, we just got to move everything over here right now and try and put things away. I'm working on the kitchen right now.
So as you unpack everything in your brand new home, you're listening on your phone?
Yes. And thank you guys praying for us and about the weather and the moving.
Oh, yeah, of course. And remember, if you don't get all of your dishes unpacked tonight in the kitchen, there's nothing wrong with some celebratory first night Chinese takeout in your new home.
That's right.
This is a common sleep myth. I fall into this too. And if you want to get a better night's sleep, it starts with something that you can't do anymore on the weekend, a way to level up your life. So a common sleep myth is that you can catch up on missed sleep, where if you're like me, you sleep in on the weekends. Sadly, that's not the case. What works? What helps you feel more rested every day? Well, consistency is the key. So that means I probably should watch one less episode of my favorite TV show on Netflix every night. Just so you know, I don't always like what I read in the Bible. I don't know if you feel that way too. Like, what? God, really? What, really? Like, for example, James 1, verse 2, it says, consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds. Pure joy, really? And then it explains why. Okay, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. That doesn't make me feel better either. I'm not at that point of my relationship with Jesus to say, okay, God, I'm happy when I'm going through tough times because it's going to make me get through tough times more. I just want to take it away from me. Is this a sign that maybe we've gotten too bored? Apparently, people now are taking like the head of a giant sunflower, like one of those giant ones, grilling it, and then eating it like corn on the cob. What is wrong with us? What is going on? What? We expect them to go, hey, yeah, it was great. Oh, it was the best thing ever. I'm so glad to be back to school. But honestly, kids are more like this on the first day of school. It's your Daily Joy Scroll.
Do you hear me? I'm quaky, I'm tired, I worked hard at school. Okay?
Alright, so what? You don't want me to mess with you tonight?
No, I'm quaky, I'm tired, I worked hard at school. Watch
You're not
out,
going to
I
wrestle here in a little bit?
Well, maybe if I stop getting cranky and tired.
I feel your pain, buddy. Actually, we all do. This is a season of change for so many. And if that's where you are right now, remember this, your uplifting thought. Things change. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it hurts a lot. Sometimes it's for the best. All right, Beth, when did you take a step of faith?
I just came out of a season of about 5 years of going through a divorce process with my husband, but that's not what I wanted. So I just kept praying and saying, God, this isn't what I want. I pray that you would just redeem our relationship. And a week before the court date, my husband dropped everything. He dropped the case. He said, okay, you keep telling me this isn't what you want, so let's just try to reconcile. And we just got back together in June. Praise God, we're trying to work it out, and I really wanted to encourage single parents and widows and people that are doing life on their own to just hold on to God and just keep on.
So, Joe, when did you take a step of faith and what happened?
I had got laid off from a job, and a coworker that I had worked with prior to that called me up about 2 weeks later and asked if I'd do a contract. And I said, sure, that sounds great. And so I went and started doing contracts. When I got my first check, so I got this impression in me, how much did you get paid this week? So the Lord was kind of speaking to me. And so I kind of said, well, this is what the check was. Well, then I was also reminded that I had also had vacation pay from my previous job, and then I also had severance pay from my previous job. So I actually had 3 checks for that same week. And I just had this impression, the Lord said, do you think I can take care of you or not?
You've heard it before. Your parents probably told it to you when you were a kid. Be sure to count your blessings. But as an adult, it can be a little tougher. So here's something you may want to try. Close your eyes. Just take a moment to think of 3 things that you're thankful for. When you do that simple act, that automatically is going to make you happier. And they did a study a few years ago that when people did that, they were still happier 6 months later, because there's never a bad time to count your blessings. And I would go one step further and say, in the worst times, that's the best time to be thankful for what God's done for you.